Welcome back, everybody. This is going to be our Algebra 2 quadratic functions lesson number 2, factoring overview part 2. Again, please make sure to catch part 1. We went over greatest common factor and conjugate pairs. Again, if you find this video helpful, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn notifications to know when new videos are added, and please leave questions or comments in the comment section below. So number 4, rewrite each of the following trinomials as a product of its GCF and another trinomial. So we remember GCF is going to be the greatest common factor for all the terms. So what number divides into all three terms? In this case, the GCF will equal to 4. All right, and I'll move over to the side here because I need a little space. All right, and so GCF is 4. That means we're going to have 4. And now we're going to divide each of these terms by 4. So 4x squared divided by 4 is x squared. 12x divided by 4 is 3x. And 28 divided by 4 is 7. And therefore, the factored form of the GCF times the trinomial will be 4 times x squared plus 3x plus 7. And so they're asking for this one. Okay. For B, our GCF, the number divides into 6x squared minus 4x and 10. Our GCF will be 2. Why not x, though? That's a question some people ask, because there's no x variable for the last term. It has to be able to divide into all three of them. It has to be something that can be easily divided evenly into it. So we don't have that, though. So for 4b, we begin with 2. Now for our trinomial, 6x squared divided by 2 is 3x squared. 4x divided by 2 is 2x, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. Now make sure you use the same symbols in this case, plus and minus the signs in this case that match up in the original trinomial. Okay. Now at some point, someone's going to say, "Hey, Mr. Gong, do I have to keep writing everything out like this?" No, but you'll find in this case that when you're first factoring, it's really helpful to write everything out and work everything out. Okay. For C, our GCF, well, we see here that definitely the number 7 goes to 14, 35, and 7. So definitely 7. But we also see in this case that they have x squared, x cubed, x squared, and x. Therefore, the variable, the smallest exponent, is going to be x. So our GCF is 7x. And so now we take 14x cubed, divide by 7x, and we get 2x squared. We take 35x squared, divide by 7x, and we get 5x, because 35 divided by 7 is 5, and x squared over x is just x. And finally, 7x over 7x is just going to be 1. So I'll clean this up a little bit. It's a little bit far here. Our factored form here is going to be 7x times 2x plus 5, 2x squared plus 5x minus 1. And for D, our GCF, the large number is 5, but again, we see x cubed, x squared, and x. Our GCF is 5x. All right, so we have 20x cubed over 5x. Is 4x squared. 5x squared, well, I'll put that at 4x squared here, just so I don't mess up. 5x squared over 5x is x, so it's a minus x. And that 15x over 5x is equal to 3, so it's plus 3. Okay? So the GCF approach is really the same whether it's binomials or trinomials. Okay. Completely factor each of the following binomials is a combination of GCF factoring and conjugate pairs. And so what we want to do is, again, We want to do the greatest common factor, and then afterwards, we want to see whether we can factor again. So let's take a look at our first problem, 6x squared minus 150. Our GCF is equal to, it looks like that we can divide 6 into both 6x squared and 150. All right, so let me get, in this case, 6. Now, 6x squared divided by 6 is x squared. Now, 150 divided by 6. Well, 6 goes 15 twice, so minus 2, okay? And the remainder of a 3, so 30 minus 25, so it's 25. Or I kind of think this way, the 6 quarters in $1.50. But we also see in this case, x squared minus 25, we can take the square root of each one and we factor here again. So we're going to have in this case, square root of x squared is x, square root of 25 is 5, plus and minus. So if you watch the video of how we did the conjugate pairs, and we're watching how we do in the videos for greatest common factor, it is a combination of both of them together. All right, please make sure you catch the first video where we did conjugate pairs. For the second one, we see our GCF is equal to 4. So we factor out a 4. 36x squared divided by 4 is 9x squared. And 4 divided by 4 is 1. But we can rewrite this again as a conjugate pair. Just got to make sure I fit everything here. Square root of 9x squared is, well, square root of 9 is 3, and square root of x squared is x, so it's 3x. So 3x in the front. Square root of 1 is 1, 1 in the back, plus and minus. Okay. Actually, gonna need a little space here, so I can trim this down a little bit. Okay. Now let's do C. The GCF here. GCF is going to be equal to 7. And so I factor out 7 to get 28 divided by 7 is going to be 4. So 4x squared, 7 divided by 7 is 1, divided by 7 is 1. So we have, in this case, 7 times 4x squared minus 1. And again, conjugate pairs, because the square root of 4x squared is, well, square root of 4 is 2, and square root of x squared is x. So 2x times 2x is 4x squared. And of course, the square root of 1 is just 1. Plus and minus. All right, and we multiply everything out, we should be able to get back to the 28x squared minus 7. That's really what it comes down to. The factored form is the same exact value as the original form. Okay. For D, our GCF, I can fit here, is equal to, well, looks like I can divide both by 3 and by x, so it would be 3x. All right, so we're factoring out, yeah, so we have 3x here, and now 27x cubed divided by 3x. Well, 27 divided by 3 is 9, and x cubed divided by x is x squared. 12 divided by 3 is 4, and x divided by x is 1. All right, and so now we do a conjugate pair, 3x, and we're going to get, in this case, 9x, the square root of 9x squared, we saw, well, it was 3x, so 3x and 3x, but the square root of 4 is 2, plus and minus. So we get 3x times, parenthesis, 3x plus 2 times 3x minus 2. We continue on, and we're going to have E, our GCF. Now this one's a little bit strange, but our GCF, what number goes in both 80 and 125, is going to be 5. Now 80 divided by 5 is going to be 16. And 125 divided by 5 is 25. Well, let's see, it's 25x squared because of 125x squared. Now, the conjugate pair, the square root of 16 is 4. Remember that first number goes in the first space for each one. And the square root of 25 is going to be 5, but the square root of 25 squared is 5x. So we have, in this case, 5x in the end. So we're going to get 5 times 4 plus 5x. Oops, I put plus twice. Sorry about that. It should be 5 times 4 plus 5x times 4 minus 5x. All right. All right, so let's continue. And our GCF for this one, for f, our GCF is going to be, well, definitely 2 goes to both of them, but also there's an x here. So again, we take the one with a smaller exponent. So GCF is 2x. So it becomes 2x times, after we take GCF, we end up with x squared minus 100. And we know the square root of x squared is going to be x. And the square root of 100 is 10. So we get 2x times x plus 10 times x minus 10. All right, now for G. Now it looks like our GCF here is going to be 8. 8, yes. So let's divide, let's see the GCF is 8, and we see here, we are going to get, in this case, 8 divided by 8 squared divided by 8 is x squared. Now, 512 divided by 8. Well, okay, listen, 8 goes into 51, 6 times, 48. All right, and the remainder, so it's a 3, 32, 8 goes to 32, 8 goes to 32 4 times, so 64. There you go. And we see here that a conjugate pair, x and x for x squared, and the square root of 64 is another 8. So 8 times x plus 8 times x minus 8. And now finally, for h, we see here that the GCF looks like it's going to be 11. Yeah, 11x actually. So we factor out 11x. And 11x, 44x divided by 11x is to be 4. And 99x cubed divided by x is going to be 9x squared. Now for the conjugate pair, the square root of 4 is 2. And the square root of 9x squared is just 3x. Yeah, plus and minus, and there you go. All right. Whew, that's a lot of work, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so this will be the end of our Algebra 2 Quadratic Functions lesson number 2, Factoring Home Review Part 2. And I hope this was helpful to you guys. And again, if it was helpful, please give a like and subscribe to the channel. Leave any questions or comments below in case I made any errors or things you were not sure about. And of course, anything that you feel in this case, I need a comment, and also how you feel about factoring, because I think a lot of people really find factoring to be something that is beyond them, but it's within your ability. All right, so it's something very, very important for math. All right, everybody, look forward to seeing you next video. Take care, and be safe.